Hey everybody. So, where to begin? Okay, so to any of those of you who've been watching my previous update videos, you guys are aware that I've been experiencing a lot of computer-related issues lately. And, well, hopefully I think I've reached something of a conclusion, but to those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll give a brief Reader's Digest of the things that have been going on. Initially, the problem was that at one point I'd been sitting with around 90 gigabytes of free space on my hard drive, and I pretty much woke up the next day, turned on my computer, and saw that I had only 9 gigabytes remaining. Well, I take this computer into some tech people, and they check it out. They run a program on there that examines all your files to see which are the biggest, which are taking up the most space, you know, and then they saw, surprisingly to me, that there was a huge amount of data stored in this weird folder off to a side of my computer I didn't even know existed, that held all these, they call them peak files, and they were generated by my Adobe Premiere Elements version 8 video editing software. It's the same program I've been using all these years to make all the movies that I've edited anyway, and put on YouTube here. Well, I figure this is something that has gone on for years, and in terms of the more recent change, I knew that I had imported a huge amount of video clips and movie clips, all of which to work on a certain project I'd been working on. So they clear out this folder that they found, and they give me the computer back. They also throw in a few more gigs of RAM to make the computer a little faster, and then I get it back. And I launch the program again to finish this project I'm working on, and I see, you know, because I'm able to find this folder that I didn't know about before. I'm able to find it. I open it up, and then I open up my program, my Adobe program, and I notice that every single thing they deleted out of that folder just self-regenerated itself all over again. And the scary parts are with my personal media, and especially the music. It would go through this never-ending, vicious, psychopathic cycle of conforming and reconforming all these music files in the corner. You'd see a little buffer bar go, go, go in the corner, and it would be reconforming and reconforming and reconforming certain files over and over and over again. And some of these are enormous. Gigabytes at a time were disappearing in minutes. So this was not normal. What I did to fix the problem temporarily was move my music file to a different location. That helped at first, until I had started putting some of the files that this program just didn't like back into the program to work with them, and I didn't even know that there were some of them that it didn't like, because I hadn't put them in there before this time and didn't see the behavior. So it was like a gamble. Any track I could have put in there could have been fine or could have been a problem, and there was no way to really know which is which. And it found a couple of them that I didn't like, and it just started doing it all over again in this new location too. So I managed to finish my project, and I then uninstall the software. And I get rid of the file that had been causing trouble in the first place and other things relating to the Adobe program, which I knew I was never going to be using anymore. And between all of that, I went up from around 188-ish gigabytes to, I think it was 209 gigabytes. So I'm thinking, great, problem solved. Everything's fine. Then, the next day, guess what happens? My free space on my hard drive goes down from 209 gigabytes to 197. So, I try to go take this into the people. First of all, my car battery's dead. So I have to wait a while until that got resolved. Then, I am able to bring it back in. And they run this program again that allowed them to find this first Adobe file that had been causing so much problems. They look, but they can't find anything. We're only talking about 9 gigabytes of data, and compared to some of my own personal folders where I have hundreds of gigabytes of all the movies I have ever created saved and archived so that I can, keep them, that's as much as they can find, but that's normal. That's fine. And there's nothing else that seems to be going wrong with the computer. They can't figure there are any viruses on there, because if I haven't taken the computer online since they've last worked on it, which I haven't. In fact, I haven't taken it online in months. But point being, if I haven't done that, I don't have viruses. I don't have malware. So it couldn't be that. So they figure instead of charging me another $50 to try to scan for viruses and things like that, they've done everything they can now, and I might as well take it home and watch it and make sure that I don't end up losing more gigabytes at a time. So I do this. And it's been about a week, almost, since I did that. And I've been watching it for a few days, having it on for a couple days, and playing around with it, playing some games, watching some movies, listening to some music, the like, Haven't taken it online, haven't done anything with it, and I'm still sitting at 197 gigabytes. It seems stable. Doesn't seem any problems. So I go and leave it on and I do my dishes, and I come back about a half hour later. Guess what happened next? My hard drive space went from 197 gigabytes to 211. Yeah, it increased. My free space increased. So I think, holy crap, what is going on? This is awesome. Maybe. Because then I start thinking, what if there's something going wrong here where it's deleting personal files or something like that? Or some glitch is going on with my hard drive where it's forgetting that I have certain files saved, and therefore, But I look around, and I can't seem to find anything that's out of place. Nothing seems amiss. But then, I remembered something I'd mentioned to the tech people, how other people have suggested ideas of what might be going wrong, and I heard something about previous versions. And I remember that when I open up the properties of my C drive to look at the exact amount of free space and used space I have, there's also a tab there that says previous versions. Weeks ago, when I'd clicked that and let it load, there were like 2 or maybe 3 different previous versions that were saved there. And I didn't have any clue as to what amount of data they took up, or what they contained, or anything. I still don't. But when I had gone and checked on it this most recent time, I saw that the other 2 or the other 3 that I had had before were gone. But this time it was replaced by a new one that had just been generated the same day at the same time that I had just found that new increase in free space. So I think that's pretty definitive to me, that this is what has been taking up, at least in this second arc of the story, this is what's been taking up the free space. This is where those extra 9 gigabytes vanished off to. Some previous version, or something like it, was generated in order to save the period of time on my computer where I still had, I think it's doing it to preserve the Adobe Premiere Elements program that I still had. It noticed that change and it remembered that, oh, this was a big deal, so it's saving this previous version of Windows that still has it installed. I think that's what this is. I'm not positive. I haven't checked up with this to verify. I haven't had enough time. This only just happened yesterday. So, at any rate, I am still keeping an eye on things. I am still trying to be cautious. But I think this is a change and a sign of things to be optimistic of, because I am willing to bet that this is all that my issue really was. Is just a large amount of previous versions that got saved up and had perhaps the Adobe program still saved there, which was a pretty big file and accounted for how much space I'd gotten back in the first place. So, alright. And this is not a function that I want to go trying to disable either. So, you know, if it's only a matter of gigabytes that saves this computer from complete annihilation, let's say, yeah, I'll let that happen. I don't care. So, bottom line, I'm reluctant to say it, but I think this is finally over. I really hope it is anyway. And hopefully with this finished and everything back to normal, I can move on to doing bigger and better things now. And one of them will be getting a new video editing software. Now, I don't care how much of a champion you think you are for Adobe software. It doesn't matter. If you go online to Amazon.com and you look at the reviews for Adobe Premiere Elements version 8, holy crap, you have never seen so many negative reviews for a product in your life. At least not video editing software like this. Not with something like the Adobe name on it. I mean, I kid you not, there are at least 100 negative 1-star reviews for this product, compared to maybe like 5 5-star reviews, and a couple in between. It is the most ridiculously horrible series of reviews I've ever seen for any computer product ever. No wonder I've been having issues with it. It's a miracle I didn't have issues, severe issues, before this. I'd had lots and lots of crashes. I had like no experience with it, no tutorials with it. Lots of functions seemed either locked or unavailable. Things you had to purchase separately. Maybe this is present in other programs, but you know, it felt very incomplete when I got it. And just hard to use, glitchy, and then add to all that, all the problems I'd been experiencing with these peak files, and the rendering, and the conforming, and the whole line of shit that just kept going on and on. There is no way I am reinstalling this program on my computer, period. It's not happening. So even other versions of Premiere Elements that don't seem so horrible, they generally don't seem as well received as programs like, say, Sony Vegas, or the sort of light versions of Sony Vegas, which I'm kind of considering looking at. I need to do a little more research, but they're looking like quite a good option. And I have to figure out which one I want most, what features, etc., how much I want to pay, but I think that's at least a direction to go in for now. But I have no idea when I'll get the chance to actually buy that. I want to do it online, probably from Amazon. They got terrific deals on that program there. So I think that might be the way to go, but it could be a while before I can swing that. So at any rate, for now, I sort of have to do without a video editor, except to say that I could use the YouTube video editor. And I've used it once already to throw an introduction onto the first part of my Gone West video series, which I've just finished uploading. And a side note to everybody, the few of you who have decided to watch those videos, or all of those videos, you have my thanks. I appreciate it. But anyway, I threw that introduction onto the first part just to try it out, and it works okay. But the problem for me is that you have to upload every file, every video that you want to work with. So this makes crafting new projects from scratch, or anything of any real sophistication, quite a chore. And it would tie up my other internet-based computer, which is not very good at all, for quite a long time. And it's not something I want to try to tackle bigger projects on, even things where all I have to do is upload a bunch of different individual files. That would just take way too much time and effort, and I could do a better job of it anyway with a real video editor. And I'm kind of thinking of avoiding Windows Live Movie Maker. I know some friends of ours have had issues with it, Z-Verses in particular. And in general, I've seen some tutorials on how it works. It just doesn't seem very impressive at all. Granted, it's free, but I don't know. The interface seems very restricting, at any rate. Even more so than the Adobe program. But at any rate, I'm thinking that there are only a few projects or things I could do for now, where either I can just upload them as they are, or edit them with the YouTube feature. And one of the things would certainly be my work in progress for the EZ8. I am pretty much to a point where I can show off everything I've gotten done so far. It's looking pretty good so far. I just have more detailing to work on if I choose to, as well as top coating the parts, but then I have to wait till the weather improves before I can do that, because I have to airbrush or spray can or something, and I'm not going out there until the weather's better. And I don't have any way of setting up any kind of an indoor setup, so that's completely out of the question. So, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of my plans regarding Gunpla have to be put on hold till the weather improves. But I can show you at least what I've gotten done so far, and then the rest of it can wait till top coating season. But beyond that, I could also show some of the things I've gotten from the holidays, And there's one other video relating to that shows, well, it's an unboxing video of something that I did work on in my Adobe program before all this crap started to happen. So that was done and over with, waiting to be uploaded until after I've shown the stuff from my holidays. And so I could do that as well in addition to my holiday video. And beyond that, whenever I do get a video editing program, a real one, I might be able to finish up my camera comparison video where I show off the capabilities of the old Canon camera I used to have and the new Panasonic one I'm using right now, which I bought to replace the Canon. I need to do a few things to edit that footage that I've gotten, and I can't really do that until I have some real editing program. Beyond that, there might be only one or two other little things. Maybe something I'll post pretty soon. Something more of an update video. But apart from that, I can't think of too much right now. Things are just sort of gonna have to be rather sparse, I think, until I can get all my stuff sorted out, until I can know absolutely for sure that my computer is fine, until I can get a new video editor, until I can get outside and do some painting, until. So, a lot of things to wait for, unfortunately, but hopefully the waiting will end sooner than later. And whatever I come up with until then, I hope you'll watch and I hope you'll enjoy. So, I guess then that pretty much is everything to mention for now. So I thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And until the next time, I'll catch you later.